Rockstar gang, what up? What up? Appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Welcome to the channel. Good morning. By the way, it's still 11:15 a.m. on the East Coast. So wherever you're watching, I'm sure it's morning wherever you are. So I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. I got a good show for you. We're going to break down the bye week preview. Basically, I'm going to give you a bye week preview, give you some things that we need to do during this time. Obviously, a couple things that I want to kind of like harp on a little bit. We're obviously going to be talking about Cam Newton's situation. We're obviously going to be breaking that down. And we're going to also be talking about trusting Bryce Young's future. All right. So appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Hold on one second, guys. Han. Jesus Christ. Can you not hear me?
Germany. And they brought some Panthers legends out there. Steve Smith, Thomas Davis, Luke Kuechly was out there. They were looking for Bull.
How?
Would you have gone if you got the invite?
I guess we would never know.
And what bigger and better player to go?
Peggy, honest question.
What's up?
Do you think Cam Newton has played his last down in the NFL?
Yeah, I believe so. I think you have
Breland,
to do that.
do you think I'm ever going back to play in the NFL?
Realistically, no.
Okay. Can I be vulnerable real quick?
Yeah.
All right. People don't know this story, but I'm going to tell it. I don't have no quarrel with David Tepper. I don't have no quarrel with nobody in the Panthers organization. I speak my mind unbiasedly, no matter who and what franchise it is. Last year, we had a 7-on-7 tournament in Charlotte.
Correct.
We went into the Panthers facility. And you mean to tell me one of the greatest Panthers to ever play ain't up nowhere? I'm talking nowhere. Who brought it to my attention? My son. How old is my son, Peggy?
8. Yeah, 8 now.
Yeah. So as a man, when you have to explain to your son, Daddy, where's your picture?
Yeah.
At this particular point in time, the question was, oh, we don't know if Cam's retired yet. Newsflash, I'm never going to retire. I know I've played my last piece of football. It don't matter to me to officially retire. A couple years ago, I had initiatives that I brought to the forefront to the Carolina Panthers. I said, yo, I'm really taking this media shit serious. Why don't we give a live audience the experience to let's do a Funky Friday for the masses? We're approaching, at this time, it was 5 years since the 2015 season. I was like, we could do a 2-for-1. I can talk to Luke Kuechly. I can talk to Thomas Davis. I can talk to Greg Olsen, unfiltered, in a way in front of an audience that we can just share stories. This could be the perfect way to pass the torch to Bryce Young. I think the fans are like that. Did that get pushed through, Peggy?
No. I think that the narrative was, Cam, you need to come into the stadium and mend relationships that you didn't even know that anything was broken.
Yeah. So when I see certain things happen like this, I didn't even know certain opportunities even existed. So did it hurt my feelings? Yeah, it did. I'm like, damn, bro, I gave this city everything.
Cam Newton is one of the greatest Carolina Panthers ever. Honestly, Cam Newton, like I've been a Panther fan since I could understand football. Okay. Ever since watching it. But Cam Newton, for me, when he became a Panthers fan, I paid attention to Carolina Panthers football even more. Like I paid attention to it then, but when I could understand it better, and I started understanding the game better as a young kid, and then watching this guy come out of Auburn, win the Heisman, go on to become a Carolina Panther, I was ecstatic. As a Gamecock fan, I watched him in Auburn. That was during the years of Carolina when the Gamecocks were absolutely they were a 10-win team every year with Steve Spurrier. And we lost to them in the SEC championship. Absolutely blew us out. We actually almost beat them in Auburn one year as well. Or during that year. I think we played them twice that one year when they went on to win the national championship. I think we played them once during the season, then we played them again in the SEC championship, and they beat us both times. The first time was close. I think the second time was not. But watching this guy go to Auburn, become a Carolina Panther, I was a fan of him before he even became a Carolina Panther. But when I knew that we had a chance to draft him, I wanted him so badly. And when they drafted him, I was ecstatic. All right. So to put that in perspective for you, let's talk about the Carolina Panthers and how they've just seemingly decided that they have ghosted one of their most iconic players in Cam Newton. The man who literally put his franchise back on the map is now left wondering why the hell his legacy isn't getting the respect it deserves. If we go look up Cam Newton's career stats, or if we went and looked up his, I guess you could say his career stats, or if you want to look up his records for the Carolina Panthers, like, let's see if we can find it. Let's see if we can look it up for the Carolina Panthers. His records. Stat Moose. Stat Moose is a wonderful thing. Love this. So Cam Newton, as his career with the Carolina Panthers, was 69, 63, and 1. Okay. Oh, you can't even get the full thing through here. Damn it, come. Wonder if I signed in or signed up, but let's go back. Let's see if we can find. Let's just put up Cam Newton. Okay. Perfect. So career yards, as you can see. So here's all of his stats. We were just going through his stats there. Games. Let's see, biography. 3-time Pro Bowler, MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year. 11 seasons, again, over 3,200 yards, over basically almost 200 touchdowns, 3 Pro Bowls, 1 Offensive Player, and an MVP award. Okay. Number 1, first round pick. All right. Everything. The guy did everything. All right. So what I don't understand is why in the hell did this guy not get his flowers? Or why has he yet to receive his flowers? I don't get it when we look at this. Like, I don't understand why this guy hasn't received his flowers and why this franchise continues to ghost one of its most iconic players. Like, the man who literally put this franchise back on the map is now, again, left wondering why the hell his legacy isn't getting the respect it deserves. And it blows my mind because obviously, if you haven't seen this recent video, you probably have. You know, he's pissed, and I'm actually pissed for him, and he has every damn right to be. Like the Munich snub, it's kind of like a slap in the face. Like over the weekend, like he didn't even get an invite. Like the Panthers sent a crew of former legends to Munich for a little goodwill tour. Steve Smith, Thomas Davis, Luke Kuechly were all there, basking in the spotlight as proud ambassadors of the franchise. But guess who didn't get an invite? And it's this guy. Why isn't Cam included? This team hasn't said, and honestly, they don't need to silence this man. I mean, the silence is deafening. Like, this wasn't just an oversight. It's part of a disturbing pattern of the Panthers acting like Newton's contributions to the franchise were no longer than a footnote. Like, no pictures, no respect, no excuses. Like, if you thought that the Germany snub was bad, you as you listen to this video, he shared an even more gut-wrenching story about him visiting Bank of America Stadium for a 7-7 on tournament last year. He walked in expecting to see some type of legacy celebrated somewhere. Instead, there was nothing. Nada. No pictures, no tributes, no acknowledgement of the guy who made this team relevant again. And his son had to ask him, his own dad, where's my picture? Let that sink in. The face of the franchise for nearly a decade, the only MVP in team history, the quarterback who led them to a Super Bowl completely erased their excuse. What's their excuse here? Right? So what's their excuse here? That he hasn't officially retired, but again, he just basically said, newsflash, who the hell cares? Cam made it clear he's not filing retirement papers anytime soon. He also knows he's played his last down. That doesn't change the fact that his impact on this team is permanent. The real problem here is that the Panthers are avoiding this guy's legacy. Let's not dance around it. Let's not sugarcoat it, ladies and gentlemen. The Panthers seem to be actively avoiding Cam Newton's legacy, and maybe it's because he doesn't fit the cookie cutter image the team wants to project. Maybe it's because they still are salty about the way things ended in 2022 when Newton clapped back to the team for lying about him demanding a trade. Or maybe it's because this organization doesn't know how to handle larger than life personalities. I think whatever the reason is, it's pretty disrespectful. While Steve Smith and Julius Peppers are rightfully celebrated, the guy who carried this franchise on his back, both on and off the field, is left out in the cold. This guy gave everything, and the Panthers gave him the boot. And I wouldn't even say it's the Carolina Panthers that gave him the boot. It's David Allen Tepper who has given this guy the boot. The same guy that continues to somehow find his name in some drama or in the media of somehow terrorizing and still not making smart decisions with this organization. Newton is not just a Panthers legend. He's a damn NFL icon. He's one of the best dual threat quarterbacks in league history, the franchise's all-time leader and passer, and the only Panther to ever win an MVP and a offensive player of the year. He's better than Jake Delhomme. Jake Delhomme will never be above Cam freaking Newton. And he should never be in front of Cam Newton. Stats or not, whatever. Cam Newton took you to a Super Bowl. You can make that case too. But Cam Newton also had a bigger impact on the field and on the field than Jake Delhomme. Off the field, probably about the same. But you're talking about a guy that, like, here's the thing, I can make a case, for Cam Newton over Jake Delhomme, that Jake Delhomme never did. He led this team to 3 straight NFC South titles, 4 playoff appearances, and their second Super Bowl. Jake Delhomme never did that. I think Jake Delhomme did that maybe once, and maybe took us to the playoffs twice. I have to go back and double check that stat, but still. But yet you treat this Panthers, but yet the Panthers have treated him like he's yesterday's trash. They released him in 2020 to go to Chetty check down Bridgewater, a move that worked out as disastrous as everyone could see it coming. This Panthers front office should have expected that. And when Cam clapped back at their lies about him demanding a trade, they cut ties completely. But despite all that, when the team was desperate in 2021, Newton came back to help him. That's loyalty. That's class. And how did the Panthers thank him again? By continuing to ignore him. David Allen Tepper needs to fix this, and they need to fix it now. They need to fix it now. Because the Panthers need to wake the hell up and fix this mess, because Cam Newton deserves to be celebrated. He does not deserve to be snubbed. He's already thriving in his post-play career. He's on ESPN. His podcast, I'm pretty sure, has over 1 million subscribers, right? He's running a successful podcast, like I said. He's gone back and forth on First Take. He doesn't need this Panthers validation for him. He don't need it. His legacy is part of the fabric of this team's identity. Ignoring it only alienates fans and cheapens the franchise history. Here's an idea. Put his damn picture up in Bank of America Stadium. Host a live taping of his podcast that he suggested, where he can talk shop with his old teammates and mentor Bryce Young. And God forsake, pick up the phone and invite him to events like the Germany trip. It's not rocket scientist David Allen Tepper, you stupid ball-headed fuck. Because it's the basic decency that you could do as an NFL owner. This is where I can't stand David Tepper, because he doesn't even try. Besides with certain legends and the ones that he doesn't like. People he doesn't like, he ghosts them. We see that. It always goes back to every single problem we have in this organization for the past 8 years. David Tepper is always in the cornerstone, the front runner of that problem. Of that fucking problem. But we want to ignore the fact that we have a guy that's not getting invited, does not even have a picture in the stadium anywhere. The Panthers keep acting like it never happened. But here's the thing. Cam Newton's legacy isn't going to go anywhere, because I've had multiple conversations with people where somehow Cam Newton gets brought up when I talk about the Carolina Panthers. And it somehow it comes up with, I miss those days. I miss the Cam Newton days. So you can't pretend that it doesn't exist, David Tepper. And fans will never forget that. Never forget him. I still see his jersey getting worn. His Superman celebrations. That dominant MVP season. His larger-than-life personality will always be part of this team's DNA, whether you like it or not. So, David Tepper. I need to stop saying Carolina. So, David Tepper, stop fucking around and give Cam Newton the respect he's earned. Because you don't have my respect, and I can guarantee you over half of this fan base, 90% of this fan base doesn't have respect for you, sir, because of what you've done in the past 6 to 8 years. What do you have to show for it? Nada. Not a damn thing you have to show for what you've done. What legacy, if you left as the owner, David Tepper, what legacy did you leave behind? How about that? Why don't we ask David Tepper what legacy he would have left behind? So for a guy that has did everything for this, as he said, give this man the respect he does earn, because right now the only legacy you're cementing, David Tepper, is one of the most petty and small-minded bullshit I've ever seen. And I digress with the Cam Newton thing. I digress. I'm gonna digress on that. I digress on that. Welcome to the Ropp Star Report, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Make sure you pound that like button, hit that subscribe button. There's more to come. Make sure you stick around. Do me a favor, smash that like, hit that subscribe. That's all I ask. All right, let's get right into it. Let's get into the next topic here. I got a good one. Actually, I want to play this clip right now. I want to play this clip right here.
You guys ready for this one?
Yeah, number one performing offensive line in the trenches with AQ Shipley from week 10.
The Carolina Panthers.
What?
In London?
Hey,
Yeah.
congratulations. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really good. That is really
Did
good.
it.
Wow. Congratulations, Carolina. That's Queen City,
That's right. In Germany.
Yeah. Boom. Speaking Deutsch.
Yeah. Wow.
Eating schnitzel.
What?
Frankenburgers.
What?
Drinking beer steins.
What?
I mean, Carolina Panthers number one performing offensive line from week 10 of the NFL season.
Wow.
Holy shit.
What world is this?
There's been number 5s. There's been number 4s. There's been number 3s. But there's only been a few that have been number one offensive line of the week. Carolina Panthers is number 1.
Hell yeah.
Those boys go uptown. They don't go downtown down there. Wow, Lake Norman right around the way.
That's right.
Holy shit, Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s right around there. Woo! I accidentally said he was dead a couple weeks ago. He is not. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is still very much alive. Thank you, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Way to go, Dale. Holy shit. That was a minute 30 right there.
Okay. Was it actually?
22 minutes, so long.
So long.
Wow. They deserve it down there, though.
Yep, they do.
I was about to start back up. We don't need arms
Sure.
tired. Congrats to Carolina Panthers offensive line for performing at such a level that AQ Shipley said you're number 1 team.
Yeah.
In the NFL.
They look great.
That's good.
They've been good all year. Bryce Young looked better, and Miles Sanders, after getting carted off, is only day to day, so that's a win for them. But Chuba Hubbard. Hey,
What happened?
Wait.
You did the way
What
you
was
said.
that?
We just did a minute 30 standing ovation for the Carolina Panthers, and then you just said something there.
What was that about?
he got carted off. AJ, what's that usually mean when you get carted off?
I mean, unfortunately, it's usually a season ender. Sometimes
He's going to be back this week, I think. We're good.
That's
all
good
right.
news.
That's great news, AQ.
Great news. That's what I'm saying. Great
It
news.
sounded like there was a
Underlying tone?
Penn State guy?
Yeah, he's a Penn State guy. And Pittsburgh. Woodland Hills.
He's a Penn State guy.
WOODY Woody High. I assume his body just healed quicker than everybody.
Yeah, it's got to be it. At Pittsburgh. It's got to be.
Bingo.
That's right.
There you have it.
That's right.
Sound like you were not thrilled.
Yeah.
That is how they. No, we celebrate the Carolina.
That's right. We celebrate.
Plus, he got to get in the showers early, too. Probably nice for him.
Yeah, we're in Germany, too.
Grab a hot dog.
Grab a hot dog.
Grab a stein of beer.
Oh,
Yeah.
beer steins are very good.
Over there in Munich.
You can do this thing here. You lift it up and it opens up. And
Yeah.
They do a lot of those things.
Oh, yeah.
We know those Penn State guys.
Let's get to the film here.
Let's take a look at the center and the right guard, right? The center's awesome. Boom. Hit the 3 technique. Watch him end up on the ground here. Let's watch this little single combo block front side. Boom. Put him down to the ground. There he goes. He's on the ground. Let's take a look at 50. Hunt. from Miami.
Hell
Sorry,
yeah.
Gumpy. Sorry, buddy.
Hell yeah.
They made a big investment in him in the offseason.
Still
Look at
an
him taking
overpay.
2. Boom, boom, takes 2. Boom, boom, takes 2.
Job of the hunt.
Boom, boom.
Mm.
Hit the big gaping hole. Get up the middle. Get 25. 150 yards rushing for the Carolina Panthers this week, boys.
Congratulations to them.
Just got paid,
That's
too.
truly phenomenal. There's the top 5.
The Panthers. Wow.
The Detroit Lions make a return. The
Oh,
Philadelphia
yeah.
Eagles make a return. The Buffalo Bills haven't been on in a few weeks, I think.
Wow.
Arizona Cardinals, and then
So AQ Shipley, top 5 performing offensive lines for week 10, and Carolina got number 1. Are you guys surprised? Because I wonder where JP comes in and says, I wonder where they got that number 1 ranking from, though. I think it's just based off of what AQ thinks. Obviously, you know, when you put up 150 something yards rushing, it obviously gets you the number 1 on AQ Shipley's list, I guess. I didn't really say why, but that's what he gave us. Obviously, it's because we all know that the Carolina Panthers offensive line has been very solid from the beginning. Even when we had even though with the injuries with Austin Corbett, and we've had some guys, Taylor Moon's gone out for an injury, and then we also had Icky come out, didn't play that game against the Giants, but we've just had guys step up. Mace has stepped up as a great center, right? He stepped up, obviously, played there. Robert Hunt has been just a godsend, right? When we did our offensive MVPs, offensive and defensive MVPs on the Panthers roundtable, if you haven't checked that out on the NFC South roundtable, it's on there. We gave our offensive and defensive MVPs, and our offensive MVP was Chuba Hubbard, but we also had to give an honorable mention to that offensive line for being part of, for Hubbard having the season that he is having. And then that video is a perfect example, right? I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Do me a favor, smash that like button. Some other news we got, obviously, y'all have heard about this. Adam Thielen's going to be back. All right, let's get straight to the point here. Listen, I think that Adam Thielen is going to bring a spark back to this offense when he comes back. All right. I feel like we've been getting our act together on offense. A big part of that is thanks to, of course, certain wide receivers. And that's Jalen Coker and Xavier Leggett, but also certain tight end and Jadavion Sanders, who are all rookies, right? So I mean, you got, if we go look at these rookies, which I'll show you them here in a minute, but no one is saying that these rookies are scrubs. Okay, I've heard a lot of fans saying, but what about Xavier Leggett? What about Jalen Coker? They're finally getting in the group. And I've never said that anything bad about these rookies. I've heard a lot of people, though, kind of talking that smack on Twitter, saying that, basically that the Panthers have had a full season of surprises, and not all of them have been good. And sure, their young group of pass catchers have been exceeding expectations, but we still need a spark on this offense. And really, it's more, for me, that it's not Thielen that needs to be that spark. I think it's more on Bryce Young. All right. I think Bryce Young has progressed. I think this vet definitely helps. But after being sidelined since week 3 with that hamstring, Thielen has been obviously been chilling on the injury list, but he's not back. But now he's back. Sorry. And the timing couldn't be any better because the Panthers played it cautious with him, which might actually pay off, especially with a bye week in the rearview mirror. But before anyone gets their panties twisted about getting traded, calm down. He wasn't, right. Obviously, they dumped Deontay Johnson, Jonathan Mingo. They're doubling down on Thielen. There's a clear message that they're riding with this guy, and honestly, I think it's a smart move. But guys, stop whining about about the rookies, okay? If you think Thielen's return is going to somehow stunt their growth, you're as delusional as a Cowboys fan in February, okay? Here's the reality. I think Thielen isn't just a good thing. His return isn't just a good thing. It's a necessity at this point. This man has hands that seem magnetic, a mind that runs routes better than 25-year-olds. That's the kind of football IQ that only comes from clawing your way up as an undrafted free agent. The Panthers need him. The rookies need him. And I think his presence is going to be a game changer in this offense, right? I mean, he's Mr. Reliable for Bryce Young. So, again, Thielen isn't here to hog the ball out of or play diva. He's here to do what he always has done, is be reliable as hell, help the people around him get better, and don't kid yourself, this defense is still pay attention when he's on the field. His presence will pull defenders toward him like the moss to a flame, giving guys like Leggett and Coker, Jadavion Sanders the room to breathe and make plays. And for those panicking about playing time, chill. I think Thielen's return doesn't mean he's eating into the snaps of the young guys. All right, no. If anything, if anyone's getting the boot, I think it's going to be David Moore once he comes back, who has been about as exciting as stale bread. If you're worried about him, you're clearly been watching a different team. Thielen is more than just a receiver of this team. He's a mentor. And here's where Thielen really earns his paycheck. He's not some washed up back clinging to relevance. This is a guy who is walking a blueprint for how to survive and thrive in the NFL. He's been at the bottom. He clawed his way to the top and is now willing to share that knowledge with Carolina's next generation. So if you go watch some film study to pregame routines, having Thielen in the room is like giving the young players a cheat code. You think Leggett and Coker are going to learn how to handle NFL pressure by watching some scrub from the practice squad? Hell no. They're learning from this guy who's been there, done that, and has the scars to prove it. But also, I got to give a shout out to a former wide receiver coach, and that's our NFL head coach, Dave Canales. Dave Canales is obviously working with these young rookies, and I think that's the reason why we're seeing Excel and Coker thrive, because this guy, our head coach, has been an NFL wide receiver coach before he became a head coach, before he became an OC. So you got to give him some credit too. But let's be brutally honest. If you're one of the people bitching about Thielen's return, you're either clueless or you're pushing some weird agenda, because I've seen a lot of people feel like the man is that it's going to take away from Coker and Leggett. Like, guys, those are rookies. Like, this is the man who's the most polished, the most reliable, the accomplished pass catcher on this Panthers team that they have, period. And he's not here to take those spotlights from anyway. He's here to share it. And honestly, he probably wants to help them out even more than himself, because that's who he is as a person. But does he have a long-term future here in Carolina? Who knows? Maybe he sticks around. Maybe the team parts ways in 2025. But for now, his job is to maximize what's left in his tank and help us grow some damn things on this team, and that's the young rookie. So finally, after what it's felt like years of floundering, that we found some momentum right now. If you think Thielen coming back somehow derails that, you need to wake up, smell the turf. This team needs a leadership. They need consistency. They need a big of magic. And I think Thielen brings all of that as well. So let's get to some comments. $5 donation by Nervish. Nervish says, I don't like how Panthers fans are attacking each other for not crowning Bryce off of 2 solid performances. Let's see how he does again versus Chiefs and Eagles first. I don't like how fans are attacking each other for not. So, Dervish, do you think they should be crowning him after the 2 solid performances? I'm not sure if that what that means, but I appreciate you, Nervous, with that $5 donation. I greatly appreciate that. Wherever you guys are watching, wherever you may be, make sure you pound that like button, hit that subscribe button.
And his name is John Cena.
Shout out to Nervous with that $5 donation. Appreciate you, man. Let's see if we get in here. Marcos comes in and says Cam is the number 2 quarterback in Panthers history on my list, but yes, he deserves. That's wrong, Marcos. That is wrong. Yes, his ego and mouth. Hatred, ego and mouth are not. His performance on and off the field speaks for itself, my friend. He's the best quarterback we ever had. I'll give him the flowers for that. It's Tepper, of course. Remember, this is the same owner that brought the former owner's old crib, just burned it down, and think about it for a second, right? What's up, Clay from Germany? I think Cam is one of the greats, but not the greatest. Yeah, you don't have to say he's the greatest Panther in history, but if he's the greatest quarterback in Panthers history, there's no question in that. There's no questioning that. But shout out to you, Stacy. Hope you're enjoying. I hope you're enjoying. I don't know if you live there or if what. But I hope you're enjoying it. Maybe you're over there for the game this past week. I don't know. They'll probably ease Grandpa back in. The Rooks still need his experience. For sure. Absolutely. I totally agree. All right. We got to go look at this defense real quick. We need to go look at this Carolina Panthers defense. We need to talk about this for a second. I'll come back to Twitter here shortly. All right. Let's see here. Bringing this up real quick for you guys. What up, QP? What up, Brandon King? Appreciate y'all joining the live stream. Guys, do me a favor. Got a lot more to talk about. We already talked about Adam Thielen returning. We talked about Cam Newton's obviously the Cam Newton craziness going on of him not having anything in here. All right. So everything to the left, right-hand side right here. I'm going to zoom in right here. As you can see, everything to this right-hand side over here is the Carolina Panthers defense. This is the overall statistics right here. And we were talking about this the other night. Like, this defense is hanging on dear life, ladies and gentlemen. It is hanging on dear life. All right. There's no question about it. No one should be shocked about this. This unit entered this season as a patchwork mess and has lived down to every low expectation. Injuries, check. Weak performances, double check. Completely inability to stop anyone. Okay. So, yeah, they've got that in space. But here's the thing. This team's performance, 31 points allowed per game, dead last. Okay? 38.69 yards per game allowed, 30th. Barely ahead of teams that might as well not show up on Sundays. 31st in yards per play allowed. So close to rock bottom. It's almost impressive. And 32nd in third down conversion percentage, a glorified turnstile of opposing offenses. The one seemingly bright spot they're in the top 10 for is for fourth down stops. But that honestly, how many teams are even bothering to go for it on fourth down when they're torching us every other play. This was expected, though, ladies and gentlemen. The Panthers have hemorrhaged defense talent in the offseason, and the replacements were either bargain bin pickups or rookies tossed into the deep end. And Ejiro Evero is essentially trying to patch a sinking ship with duct tape and good intentions. Now, let's go down to this front seven. This is the rushing statistics over here on the right-hand side. Okay? Remember when the Panthers front seven used to strike fear into opponents? That's ancient history, all right? This year's version is more of a rotating door of mediocrity and missed assignments, okay? So this run-stopping defense, look at this run defense, okay? All right, as we scroll down. And these are the rankings. This is the percentages, as you can see to the right-hand side here. Now, remember, all right, run defense. We're looking at it now. Actually, that might be up here. No, that is right there. Okay, never mind. My bad. Run defense ranked 32nd and yards allowed per game. 23rd and yards per rush. So opponents don't just run the ball. They just march through like it's a training drill. And then the pass rush. Okay, down here. Pass rush. 31st. And sack percentages right here. Right here. 31st in sack percentages. Quarterbacks are basically setting up lawn chairs in the pocket, and they are picking apart this defense, besides maybe J.C. Horn. The offseason saw losing guys like Frankie Luvu, Brian Burns, who shipped off to the Giants, right? Frankie Luvu went off to Washington. You got, obviously, Brian Burns to the Giants, but after basically for Brian Burns, the contract negotiations went nowhere, and in their place, we got guys like Jadeveon Clowney and Ashawn Robinson who have been better, right? I feel like this defense listen, this isn't going to be a whole negative part of the show where it's just me destroying this defense, okay? But we have to be real with ourselves, okay? For what we went from to what we are now. And listen, this is not all about the player's fault, okay? I do believe that Evero's scheme is a too complex of a scheme for this personnel. It does not fit this personnel, and his lack of adjustments is still alarming to me. Again, I could pick multitude of plays, and we could even go to film, and I could show you why it's too complex and why it makes no sense and why it does not fit this personnel. But the one glimmer of hope of this defense has been Trevin Wallace, and obviously DJ Wanum last week. Obviously, Trevor Wallace, he's been forced into a starting role after Shaq Thompson's season-ending injury. Josie Jewell nagging elements. Then you got Wallace, who's racked up, I think, 50 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery this season so far, which is really not bad for a third-round pick who wasn't supposed to see this much action so soon. J.C. Horn, again, if this front seven is bad and the secondary isn't doing them any favors, really, though, okay? You got to think about the injuries. You know, Xavier Woods, Jordan Fuller, they have turned an already shaky group into a full-blown liability. Xavier Woods, obviously, there's nobody better than him on this team, unfortunately. But for Jordan Fuller, I would love to see Damani Richardson take over there. I just don't see it. I just don't see it with Jordan Fuller, man. I just don't see it with Jordan Fuller. I really don't. Am I missing something here? Because Jordan Fuller really hasn't done anything for me to say that, and based off of watching him say, yeah, that guy is good. Like, really, That has not been the case. That has not been the case at all. I don't know if I like the bubble or if I like the classic, or do we go with the minimal? Maybe we'll go with the minimal there. So, he doesn't pop off the screen for me. But the only saving grace on this secondary here is J.C. Horn, who has miraculously stayed healthy for 10 weeks. Knock on wood. All right. But Horn's ability to lock down his side of the field has been a rare bright spot. But the problem is Jiro Evero, I go back to this, J.C. Horn always stays on the one side of the field. He's never staying on the best wide receiver of the opposing team. Like Mike Jackson's serviceable. I think Damani Richardson is serviceable, but he's more serviceable than Jordan Fuller right now. And let's be real. None of these guys wouldn't crack the starting lineup on a team that has a solid secondary, though. Some of these guys on this team would not even crack the starting lineup on a solid secondary. The Panthers need to surround Horn with reinforcements. You've got 11 draft picks in 2025. They better make it a damn priority. Horn is also playing for a contract extension as he enters the final year of his rookie deal. The big question is whether the Panthers will pay him long term or given his injury history for money, but you got to lock him up. This team can't afford to lose one of its most dependable players. I get the injury history, but if you don't lock him up now, it's going to be more money to going into the offseason if he plays a full season and he continues to have that 42.9 completion rating, because that's all he's allowing is 42.9% of completions right now that are thrown his way. The guy is locking down dudes. He's putting the seatbelt strap on him. Farley looked pretty decent. Yeah, I have to give him credit there. Thielen back will have defenders covering him, so should open up more for extra. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was getting at in my whole spiel, basically. Some people just don't understand ball. That's all it is, Josh. Agree. Horn should be following wide receiver ones by now. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. Happy Friday, all. Happy Friday, Kristen. Get Horn a defensive front, in my opinion. Again, I've always said this, and I'm always going to be a big believer in this, ladies and gentlemen. An elite pass rush can make an average secondary look elite. Because what does the pass rush do? It gets after the quarterback. It causes the pressure. It causes inherent throws or turnovers or sacks. That's what a pass rush and an elite defensive line does. It stops the run. It gets to the quarterback. It creates turnovers. It makes your opposing quarterbacks fold like a cheap tent to throw inherent throws, and then your secondary is able to make the catch. Right? Honestly, if we went and we kept Mike Jackson, we kept Caleb Farley, we kept Dane Jackson, we kept this whole secondary we have, and we go out, and I like what I see from DJ Wanum. He's been a nice spark. I like what I see from DJ Wanum. He has been a nice spark. Don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen. He has been a nice spark. Maybe if DJ Wanum had somebody else other than Jadeveon Clowney. Let's say he had a Kyle Kennard, a James Pierce Jr., or a Abdul Carter. What if we were able to get one of those elite guys, I think, that are going to be elite in that out of this draft class, pass rushers, because this is a massive pass rushing defense, or a massive pass rushing draft. You can't tell me that DJ Wanum might not have another 8-sack season while you've got your future pass rusher putting up 12 sacks. Because I think any of those guys, like Abdul Carter, Kyle Kennard, James Pierce Jr., I think those guys are going to get double-digit sacks in their first season. I can see it from all three of those guys. Those are my top. Those are like my top three. I mean, there's other guys in this draft class that could do it too. It's just so deep. I'm just giving some examples. Of course, I want Mason Graham. Mason Graham's my number one pick right now out of Michigan for this defensive line. Jadeveon Clowney is just going to be here for another year after this year anyways. But it wouldn't be a bad idea to get a guy in this draft as an edge. I'd like to get Mason Graham in the first and get Kyle Kennard in the second. Because that's probably going to be your best bet. I'd love to get Mason Graham in the first and get Kyle Kennard in the second. And you've already basically you've kind of almost solidified that defensive front. Because I think A'Shawn Robinson will be fine. You get Derek Brown back. You get Mason Graham. And then you've got Kyle Kennard, DJ Wanum, and Jadeveon Clowney. Kyle Kennard could sit behind Jadeveon Clowney and develop. That's my philosophy. That's basically what I'm thinking in my head. Now, if you want to double up on edge, that's fine. Go ahead. But you still need a guy like a Mason Graham or a Kenneth Grant to help this defensive line and help stopping this run. Okay. Obviously, Derek Brown coming back is going to be huge, right? Getting Derek Brown will be huge coming back, but having that extra help and depth on that defensive line is going to be huge. I think you actually have to go D lineman at least twice in this draft. If I'm Carolina, I think you got to go D lineman twice in this draft. You could honestly I think you could get away with one edge rusher, and whoever that is, you got to get him in the first or second. It does not matter. As long as Carolina gets one of those guys in the first and the second, they'll be okay. And I would also be daring to go in the later rounds, maybe late 4th or 5th, and pick up, I think we got like 3 5th-round picks. Maybe use one of those for an extra edge rusher. So I don't know. But we have to do something to this defense to switch it up. We've got to. They're starting to tighten things up. But this bend but break defense has mostly just been break. Let's be honest. Let's call it like it is. The Panthers defense isn't just bending. It's snapping like a cheap folding chair at a tailgate. 10 games, they've given up. All right. 47 points to the Saints. They gave 34 to the Bengals. They gave 36 to the Bears. They gave 38 to the Falcons. And they gave 40 points to the Commanders. So, yeah, they've tightened up over the past 2 weeks, but don't let that fool you. This unit is still a disaster waiting to happen, especially against the high-powered offenses like Chiefs, Eagles, Cowboys. Well, not the Cowboys anymore. But there is a lot of silver linings here. I think this defense can improve, but I'm going to need to see how much this defense can improve against the Chiefs and the Eagles. That's going to tell me where we stand as a team truly compared to these teams, as at least from a defensive standpoint, because we know that this Chiefs team's not playing the best. Patrick Mahomes has not been playing his best, but I feel like the Chiefs are just playing to their competition. I feel like we haven't seen the best of the Chiefs. I think we're going to have to see the best of the Chiefs this week when they play the Buffalo Bills. They're going to have to play up more to the competition. And I think the Bills actually win that game. It's a bend and break defense, QP 88. But, again, that third down defense, man, where is it at? Third down defense. Here's your third down defense. A complete dumpster fire. You want to talk about frustration from this defense? Let's start with that Panthers third down defense, or lack thereof. Watch this unit try to stop anyone on third down. It's like watching someone trying to hold water in their hands. Right? It's embarrassing. Carolina has allowed opposing teams to convert 48.12% of their third downs, making them the worst in the NFL. Let that sink in. The worst. Not kind of bad, not in the bottom 5, dead last. For comparisons, okay? The Detroit Lions, who actually know what they're doing this year. All right, let me go click on the Detroit Lions. So the Detroit Lions defense, where is the defense? Third down conversion. There it is. This is their third down conversion. This is the Detroit Lions third down conversion, ladies and gentlemen. They're doing this. They lead the league right here at 31.37%. That's nearly a 17% gap. Nearly a 17% gap, ladies and gentlemen. Like, the problem is twofold. First, they can't seem to handle third and short situations, which is a basic football. Second, they play too soft on third and long, only to rely on cover 3 scheme. They're ill-equipped to execute because, again, Ejiro Evero loves his cover 3 more than a fat boy loves Natty Light. But without a consistent pass rush, it's not working at all. DJ Wonnum, again, had a nice showing against the Giants, and his return could help a bit. But until this defense learns how to stop anything on third down, it's going to keep bleeding yards at this point. And when you're up against teams, like when you're going up against teams like Kansas City or these Philadelphia Eagles, when you're going up against those guys, that's a disaster waiting to happen. That's a disaster waiting to happen. But again, you got to fix this third down defense. Again, same thing with that run defense. We got to fix that as well. I mean, that's the biggest thing. All right. We got to fix that as well. All right, let's go. Let's get back to Twitter real quick. Get back to Twitter real quick. I want to pull this up. Show this tab instead. Let's go to bookmarks. Actually, I'm going to cover that game film. A minute. I wanted to bring this up for a second. I wanted to bring this up for a second. Let me see if I can zoom in for you. Oh, yeah, I can definitely zoom in. All right. Actually, let me zoom out just a little bit. There we go. You can see him right there. All right. So, Bryce Young joins some MVP company in here. Bryce Young, the Carolina Panthers, beleaguered quarterback is rubbing statistical elbows with MVP heavyweights like Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. If you told anyone this a month ago, they'd have laughed in your face, and hell, he wouldn't have believed it. But here we are. We're staring at a stat here that somehow links to Young to football royalty. Now, let's not kid ourselves. All right. The road to this point has been rocky as hell. Young has been benched, questioned, criticized, and practically dragged through the mud since being drafted number 1 overall. But in the last 3 weeks, he's managed to sprinkle a little hope onto this dumpster fire of a Panther season so far. So here is how the stat stands. All right. Since week 8, 4 quarterbacks have led teams to multiple 90-yard touchdown drives. Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Bryce Young. Each have done it twice. Again, Bryce Young is not exactly setting the league on fire. Right? He's doing just enough to make people perk up since reclaiming the starting job. He's completed 62.5% of his passes for 521 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 3 picks. Nothing groundbreaking for sure. But the Panthers have gone 2-1 in that span, which is practically a miracle for this team. What's even more impressive, he's delivered 2 scores that covered 90 yards. And then you see who his candidate with. So, again, the first of those drives, if we go back and look at it, the first of those drives, that's where the flash of hope came from, was in a loss. It was a loss to the Denver Broncos. During week 8, we're already down and out in that game. He led a 10-play, 98-yard masterpiece that ended in a 15-yard dart. Yeah, it was actually a dart. To Jalen Coker for a touchdown. All right. That drive wasn't just about the yardage or the score at the time. It was about Young how he looked doing it. Like calm, poised, like the kind of quarterback the Panthers thought that they were drafting. It was a flicker of the talent everyone has been raving about when he was coming out of Alabama. The second drive, I had to go look it up, was actually last week. In the first quarter, remember? Orchestrated another 90-yard drive. This time going 95 yards in 12 plays. He capped it off with a 5-yard strike to Jadavion Sanders, which put us on the board early. That wasn't a garbage time stat pad. It was a statement. Young controlled the offense, made the right reads, put points on the board when it mattered. All right. But let's not get carried away here. All right. Young's recent success doesn't erase the struggles he faced or the ones still to come. The kid has made his fair share of boneheaded plays this season, and those 3 interceptions in the last 3 games are a reminder that he's still a work in progress. The film tells a better story than the stat sheet. He's making smarter decisions, staying composed in the pocket, and showing flashes of elite anticipation that made him the top pick. Okay? All right? Dave Canales has still yet to name him as the permanent starter. We'll see what happens. I honestly think they'll still continue to start him. But for me, these 90-yard drives that we were seeing, that's what we need to see the consistency of each and every game and drive after drive. Now, again, he's not going to go out there and do 90-yard drive after 90-yard drive after 90-yard drive. It's just not going to happen, okay? But I need to see those types of drives and performances consistently from Bryce, okay? There's going to be times I understand he's going to go 3 and out, all right? There's going to be times when he's not going to go in 90, 80 yards, okay? I get that, all right? I get that. But, But yeah, I need the drives that we saw from him in these last couple games. I need to see more of that. I need to just see more of that consistent performance. That's all. That's all I'm asking out of him. Let's get into some film here. Let's get into some film real quick, actually. Let's see. I want to say this is the play here. This is the play I want to talk about. Yeah? Are you okay? That was my dog. All right, so this is a easy. I want to say, is this the scram? No. Hold on. I think this is it. Okay. All right, so this one, small stats, big plays. Let's dive into one of the early highlight reel plays. On the Panthers' second possession, I think this second possession, if right here, he's working on a 7-man protection up front here. Okay? Set under center with the play. So watch the play action. Now the front 7 holds, but it's Young's pocket awareness that steals the show here. Watch. Sits, climbs the pocket, and then he throws. All right. Watch how the 2 deep, all right, watch how the 2 deep third defenders start bailing toward the post, okay? They start bailing to the post. High linebacker creeps forward. This linebacker creeps forward. These guys go back. This subtle movement opens up a second window, and Young sees it. That's the kind of manipulation. Watch. So watch it play out. This is the kind of manipulation you want to see. Steps in the pocket. See how the linebacker goes. Secondary pulls up. He finds Leggett. That's the kind of manipulation we need to expect from him each and every week. That's what top tier quarterbacks do. Not a second-year player, still finding his feet. That's the stuff you need him to do. Watch it again. Actually, we'll watch it. Oh, give me the backside view. All right, cool. So watch how he 7-man front. Okay, watch how he does it here. Watch how he steps up. Okay? And how he manipulates his pocket. Now he steps up. Finds that window. That's all I'm asking from him. Let's watch from that view again. He manipulates the pocket here. Feels that pressure coming from the right side. Slides over. Makes a play. That's what you want to see from him each and every single game. All right. This play right here. This play right here. All right. This is what I call eyes on the prize. All right, a scramble to shine. All right, so you fast forward. Now we're going into basically the first touchdown drive. At the top of this drop, what does Young slips in the grass here as we watch this, okay? But instead of panicking or taking a sack, he remains on his balance, keeps his eyes up, delivers a short pass to Javion Sanders in the end zone. It's not the sexiest play, but it's smart football. A year ago, I guarantee you Bryce Young might have panicked here, forced something ugly, but this time he stayed calm, collected, and efficient. So watch. Slips, keeps his eyes up, finds Jadavion Sanders for the touchdown. Watch again. Slips, finds his feeding, keeps his eyes up, makes the throw. It's the small stuff, ladies and gentlemen. It's the small stuff, I tell you. All right, it's the small stuff. All right, let's go to this one. Now watch this. So this one, this is where I started seeing Bryce Young grow confidence. This is where he really shines in the Panthers secondary. 90-yard scoring drive. Okay. Facing a 2nd and 6 deep in their own territory. Dave Canales dials up a play that's becoming a staple of this Panthers team. It's crossing routes over routes designed to exploit the 2 high safeties and low linebackers. Really, in this play, they're not running that safety. Only one safety is at the top here. But rookie receiver Coker, right there. He's over here. I think right here. I think Coker's here. Runs an over route. What he's trying to do is he's trying to aim for the soft spot in the coverage. What Young needs to do is places the ball, does it perfectly on this place. He places it right over the linebacker into Coker's frame. It's a textbook anticipation throw. So when you pause the film at the moment, Young starts his motion, and you'll see it, and I'll do it. Coker's still behind the linebacker. That's the kind of trust and timing you need to see from him to succeed consistently at this level. So watch. So there's Coker. See the linebacker. Throws it over its head. That's a great touch anticipation throw. That's what you want to see. That's what you want to see. Again, this is a touch anticipation throw right over the linebacker's head. And it's like I said, what he's doing here is, it's a double cross. It's crossing routes over routes designed to exploit high safeties, and not necessarily 2 high safeties, any high safety or 2. And low end linebackers, right? And so Jalen Coker runs an over route. He finds the soft coverage there. Young places the ball perfectly right over the linebacker's head into Coker's frame. That's exactly what you want. Perfect. All right. Let's move on to the next one. There's another film I wanted to break down. All right, this one. All right, so here's this one. Composure. This is where I've been wanting to see, and this is what I call composure under fire. Here's where you see the real growth. On a 2nd and 11, after back-to-back penalties, and I remember this play, race to touchdown. Young of old might have folded. Instead, Canales calls a familiar play from the previous week. Running back Chuba Hubbard. He's going to hit a flat route here. Okay, he's going to hit a flat route. All right, and David Moore is going to run a short post. Okay, he's going to run a short post. The Giants, they're playing off right now in a off-man cover 1. That's what they're playing off of. They're playing off a cover man 1. Off man cover 1, cover man off man, whatever you want to call it. Linebacker gets tangled. Watch win this play. The linebacker is going to get tangled up to cover Chuba. Okay. Young doesn't flinch. He trusts Moore to adjust. Delivers the ball before Moore even turns his head, and bam, it's a first down. Sets Chuba Hubbard up for that running touchdown. Watch. See, runs a flat. Again, runs a flat. Boom. Honestly, he could have probably dumped that off to Chuba Hubbard, and that might have been touchdown, honestly. Chuba might have been the better player because both of them went with David Moore. So I'm surprised. Even though on this play, he gets tangled up in this. Really, 41 shouldn't have been going after David Moore. Really, that should be also pass interference on 41 as well. So I'm glad I'm rewatching that because I learned something new there. So those are a couple of highlights I wanted to go over from the Giants game. Oh. All right. A couple more things I want to go over with you guys. I want to talk about this. I really want to talk about this. Let me back out just a little bit. There we go. I want to talk about these rookies, man. I want to talk about these wide receiver rookies real quick. I mean, Xavier Legette, 29 catches, 284 yards, 4 touchdowns, 5 carries for 22 yards. He's done that in 10 games. So, first off, the Panthers traded up to grab Legette in the first round. I know a lot of people probably thought it was a reach. But the kids delivered enough to, I think, quiet some of those doubters, in my opinion. I think Legette is everything you want in a jump ball receiver. He's got the size. He's got the athleticism, a knack for pulling down contested catches in the end zone. He's already scored 4 touchdowns, making over a third of the team's receiving scores. But let's be blunt. His yardage totals aren't blowing anyone away, but he's on pace to have the best rookie receiving season in Carolina since DJ Moore. And that's nothing to, not give credit towards. Of course, them being all 3 of our guys being in the top 10 of rookie receiving yard leaders through week 10 is amazing, honestly. I didn't know how this was going to pan out. Like, Legette's game isn't without flaws. His route running can be sloppy at times for sure. He's had some brutal drops. The Panthers have tried to use him in gadget plays, but honestly, those have been pretty forgettable, right? Still, Legette's potential is undeniable, in my opinion, and he's shown enough to justify this Panthers aggressive move to snag him. Let's talk about Jadavion Sanders, though, and I'm going to get to Jalen Coker. But Jadavion Sanders, 26 catches, 253 yards, 1 touchdown, 10 games. I feel like the Carolina Panthers actually have a tight end who can actually catch the damn ball. Like Sanders, a 4th-round pick, has been a revelation in a position that's been a black hole for us for years. His 253 yards are the most by a Panthers tight end since 2019, and we're only halfway through the season. The kid's still learning the ropes as a blocker. He found ways to exploit soft spots in the zone coverage. He uses his size in contested situation. Sanders looks like a long-term piece for this offense, which is exactly what this team needs, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's what impressed me the most. Get to some of you comments real quick. But I think that's what he stumbled a lot, but played on field, but didn't allow to shake him. Yeah, absolutely. What's up, Trebo? Sup, star. Speaking of Cam and Luke, I missed the 2023 Panthers game. Luke era NFL seemed so much more fun than now. Everything just Chiefs. Panthers were a fun team. 2013, 2017 era seemed way better. Things were even better social wise. then to me, NFL feels boring now. I don't know why. Hopefully change soon to come from Carolina. Trebo, I mean, we're heading in the right direction right now. I mean, we're heading in the right direction. There's not really nothing that I can't say that we're not heading in the right direction. I feel like we are. I feel like we're heading in the right direction with everything we're seeing, with the rookies, with everything going on right now. I mean, there's a lot of progress, still progress that needs to be made. But overall, I mean, it's the bye week. That's why I'm bringing this to you today. That's why I'm bringing you this content today, just to get something out there. So I was just trying to find anything and everything. But, Trebo, it's coming, man. The progress, it seems like things are heading in the right direction. But, I've seen this team where it takes one step forward and 10 steps back, man. So we'll see. I think the offseason is going to be, obviously, this offseason, Trebo, is going to be huge for us, especially in the draft, especially in free agency. It's going to be huge for us in that department. But also, for the rest of the season, we just want to continue to see progress. I could care less if this team wins another game. Like, I just want to continue to see progress from the front, from the offense to the defense, to the front office, to the coaching staff, to the water boy, to the training staff. I don't care. I just want to continue to see progress from this team week in and week out. So definitely more a better future to come. Obviously, for example, we've got 3 guys. That's what we're talking about right now. Let's get to the last guy, Jalen Coker. My gosh. Holy Cross alumni, undrafted free agent, came out of nowhere to become one of the Panthers' most exciting players now. His breakout performance against Denver was enough for Carolina to ship Mingo to Dallas, obviously. I mean, Coker has shown a knack for making big plays, whether it's downfield or he's in the slot. Like, his hands are reliable. His route running is polished. His speed is sneaky good. Who's to say that I don't know how it's going to go. Leggett could be the number 1 wide receiver of the future, and Coker might be a damn good wide receiver 2 of the future. Or maybe it's Coker, might be the wide receiver 1 of the future, and Leggett is that damn good wide receiver number 2 of the future. Who knows? Either way, you've got your future 1 and 2 there with Leggett and Coker, in my opinion. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Yeah, Dan's going to have another good draft. That's for sure, Josh. That is for sure. We're going to definitely need to have another good draft. Jalen Coker might just be the biggest steal for the Panthers from this draft class. Might be. You could also say Jadavion Sanders, being a 4th-round pick, a guy that was projected to go 2nd round. You got him in the 4th round. Could be a steal. You never know. You never know. That's part of the draft, man. You take risk. Sometimes you get high rewards. Guys, do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button. All right? Make sure you smash that like button. If we get this live over 50 likes, if we can get this live to over 50 likes before I end it, and then at the end of this live stream, by the end of today, we get 100 likes or more, I'll do a Jalen Coker giveaway, jersey giveaway. If we can get this live stream up to 100 likes, I will do a Jalen Coker jersey giveaway. I will. And I'm just asking for a thumbs up. I'm not even asking for money. I'm not telling you to hit my Cash App. I'm not telling you to hit me up with my Venmo. Not telling you to give me a super chat or become a member. I will do a Jalen Coker jersey giveaway. I'm going to do it. Actually, I was planning on doing a giveaway, a couple giveaways coming up anyway. So why not start now? We can get this live stream up to 100 likes or more by the end of today. Even after I end, I'll do a Jalen Coker jersey giveaway. And I'm just asking for likes. That's it. So y'all pound that like button, hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. I got one more rant. I got a rant for you guys today. I got a rant to finish this off today. Carolina Panthers, are we trusting the process or are we just tolerating it? Let's get one thing straight, ladies and gentlemen. The Carolina Panthers are not world beaters. Hell, they're barely getting off the mat after years of tripping off their own damn feet. But for the first time in 2021, this team has managed to cobble together something resembling a winning streak. For a franchise that's been a revolving door of coaches, quarterbacks, questionable draft picks, this is a glimmer of hope. A bleat fainted one, though. So are we trusting the process yet, or are we just relieved the Panthers aren't actively embarrassing ourselves for once? 2 wins equals fan optimism. Sure, let's pretend for the first time in ages, Panthers fans have a reason to squint into the future without immediately bursting into tears. Fan confidence has climbed to 72%, nearly matching the in-season high of 74% after the win against the Raiders. But let's not kid ourselves. This optimism isn't exactly rock solid. The victories over the Saints and the Giants were nice, but they weren't exactly David versus Goliath moments. These teams were floundering in their own right as well, and beating them doesn't suddenly mean that the Panthers are playoff bound. Still, 2 wins are 2 wins, right? For a team that spent more time in the NFL basement than cleaning it out is something. Again, Bryce Young has started to show signs of life, but not a star yet. The guy looked like a deer in the headlights week 1 and 2, throwing the ball with all confidence of someone who forgot to study for a test. The result ended up being benched, and deservedly so. But now Young is finally showing flashes of the quarterback Panthers hope, and they're getting when they used the number 1 overall pick on him. He's making better decisions. His accuracy has improved. And thank the football gods, he's actually taking some shots downfield. Let's be real. Signs of life don't pay the bills in the NFL, though. Eventually, those flashes need to translate into consistent performances. Just like from the video clips and the film breakdown I broke down today. We need to see consistency like that. And actual stat lines that make you wince. Like the Panthers aren't asking him to be Patrick Mahomes tomorrow. But baby steps we're seeing now won't cut it forever. At some point, this kid has to prove he can carry the load or risk being yet another failed experiment in Carolina's quarterback graveyard. Momentum, a rare commodity in Carolina. Momentum has been as rare in Charlotte as a sunny day in Seattle. But somehow, heading into the bye week, the Panthers finally have a little wind in their sails. The players are healthier. The schemes are clicking. And for once, the team doesn't look like it's in full implosion mode. This is the perfect time for Dave Canales and company to figure out what's been working, and more importantly, what is still a steaming pile of shit. This coaching staff needs to hammer home the fundamentals, reinforce the positives, and address glaring weaknesses. Defense on third downs. Sorry. But they better do it fast because the Chiefs are next on that schedule. Let's not sugarcoat this. Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid are coming into town with every intention of smacking this resurgence back into the Stone Age. Young's baby steps aren't enough. The upcoming game against Kansas City is a brutal reality check. Nobody expects the Panthers to pull off the upset, but fans expect to see progress. See, Bryce Young can't afford to regress. He doesn't need to outdo Mahomes. He does need to show he can stand tall in the face of an elite opponent. That means avoiding stupid mistakes, taking calculated risk, proving he can manage a game against a juggernaut. It's about showing growth, even in a likely loss, because if Young can't deliver against the Chiefs or at least look competent, it'll be another nail in the coffin of this guy's rookie campaign. Trust the process, or are we just buying time is the question. So are we just trusting this so-called process? That depends on how much patience you have left. The Panthers aren't back, ladies and gentlemen. They sure as hell aren't contenders. They've stopped actively falling apart for a franchise that's been a walking punchline. That's progress. But make no mistake, trusting the process only works if there's an end game. Right now, we're still waiting to see if this team can string together more couple promising weeks. Bryce Young, Dave Canales, Dan Morgan have bought themselves some breathing room. But if they don't capitalize on this momentum, fans are going to turn on them faster than Young can scramble out of the pocket. Bye week is coming to an end here soon. The Chiefs are coming, right? It's time to show up and show them what we've got. And the Panthers, they got to do it now because we have to admit we're treading water right now. We're treading water. So that is my rant for the day. Are we just trusting the process or are we just tolerating it? I think it all depends on how much you guys as fans have, how much patience you guys have left. Guys, I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Make sure you do me a favor. Make sure you pound that like button, hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. Make sure you click that post notifications bell so you don't miss out on new content. All right. I'm always live. Coming up next week, ladies and gentlemen, my schedule is changing. I am starting a new job full time. So your boy is going to be going live a lot more at night. All right. I'm going to be going live a lot more around 8 p.m. EST, 8:30 p.m. EST, around that time. So the afternoon live streams will be probably coming to a halt for a little while. But as of right now, guys, make sure you just tune in. Make sure you pound the like button, hit that subscribe button, click that post notifications bell. Again, if we get this live over 100 likes, I'll do a Jalen Coker giveaway next Friday. If we get this live stream to over 100 likes, I'll do a Jalen Coker giveaway. And then I'm going to do a 2 tickets giveaway this year as well to finish out the season. And then we'll do some fun other giveaways, maybe some like Amazon gift cards, Chick-fil-A, whatever y'all want to do. I don't know. Y'all can just continue to show your support and I'll continue to provide with giveaways and content. So I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Do me a favor, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. Make sure you click that post notifications bell so you don't miss any new content. Also, shout out to BetUS today. Sign up today. My link tree is in my bio, the description of this live stream. Go to that link tree, and it will take you right to BetUS. Sign up for free today. Get 150% bonus on your first 3 bets up to $2,000. Also, you feel free to join the Discord. That link that's in the link tree of this description. Also follow me on Twitter, and TikTok and Instagram. I'm all active on there as well. That's another way you can show your support. Other than that, guys, have a blessed weekend. Have a good weekend. Happy Friday to everyone. And as always, guys, keep pounding. Peace.